Okay.
So, give a short intro to everyone. Annie and Azro, thank you so much for joining us today. You know, real pleasure to have all of you join in. I'm pretty excited for this one right here. I know Harish for quite a while back, and you know, it's like a really good, exciting time for me to like introduce him a bit different. Really excited to showcase what Echo did. She did. But if you want to ask any questions, or also, and you know, during this presentation or at the end of the presentation. So, yeah, Harish, take it away. Thank you so much for joining us today and you know giving us this run through on EXO, and hopefully we can all benefit from it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Oz. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining in wherever you're watching this. Also, to everybody who joined from Crack Devs. This is going to be a fun one. I'll try to keep it simple, easy to understand. Also, hopefully, my demos work. Um, okay, let's get started. I'll start with a little more elaborate introduction about myself. I am Harish Kotra. I currently lead developer experience for Exo.builders. I was previously leading developer relations for Gaia, which is an open source framework that lets you run AI agents fully locally on your own machine. Earlier, before Gaia, I was with Angel Hack, running a lot of hackathons, over 200 plus large scale hackathons across the globe. I was leading their platforms and community for a while before I joined Gaia. I'm also an open source contributor, specifically this year. Contributed to some popular repos that you can see on the screen called Passmark, Open Metadata, WideMemory.ai. You should check them out if you are keen on building powerful AI agents. With that quick intro, I'll also tell you why you should probably listen to me, right? Through Jan, right? If you see my GitHub contributions graph that I put up on the screen, this is all with AI assistance. I've been doing daily builds in since Jan 1st. I've built about 181 agents as of today. One agent every day, and what you see on screen is my contributions graph. All of them are open source. You can check out what I build every day on dailybuild.xyz. All 181 demos are open source. Only one of them went viral. But yeah, that's why you should probably listen to me, because I pretty much am deep into this rabbit hole of building AI agents. Right? Let's jump into some basics and fundamentals before we understand what XO does, how you can leverage XO. Let's understand what makes really an agent, right? You can react with an emoji if you're seeing this on the Google Meet. If you have any questions, you can ask them at the end, or I can take them up as you post them in the chat. What makes an agent, right? By default, when you build an application with an LLM API, be it OpenAI's APIs or Anthropic's APIs or Gemini APIs, or using your own local models through Ollama, that's essentially the brain of the agent only. You're only calling a pre-trained model to get responses. That's not an agent as a whole, right? Now, as of today, when you chat with ChatGPT or Claude, you see that ChatGPT remembers through your conversations and understands who you are. That's what is called memory. Memory essentially allows the agent to remember information across conversations. The same works with Claude. If you chat with it online on the chat interface, or even any other closed source model or chat interface that you like using, right? And what memory does to an agent is it gives the agent more context and information about who you are, what type of preferences you have. If you drop in PDFs or if you drop in any files, that will act as a knowledge base for the agent, and it understands your patterns and then responds to you. This already works on the chat interface. Now, what this doesn't work if you call the LLM API in an application, right? So adding memory is very important if you want your agent to behave in a certain way. Third one is tools. Tools are essentially what enable your agent to talk to the outside world or the real world, where you want to get real-time data from an API, or talk to your closed source API if you are building something that needs a private database or private data set, right? So tools essentially enable agents to interact with the real world and perform actions beyond just the pre-trained data that it comes with. So if you call an LLM directly, it responds back with just the knowledge base it has been trained on. It doesn't have context of live data or anything like that. So when you're building an agent, you can actually give it tools, right, to do web search, to query a database, or to execute code through a sandbox, send an email. You can do all of these today in interfaces that you already use, right? Then there is channels. Now, where do you talk to this agent with? By default, you can have a chat interface that you build for the agent. Also, you can enable Slack. You can talk to your agent through Slack. You can talk to your agent through WhatsApp these days. If you've used OpenClaw or Claude Code, you can chat to them using your mobile apps, right? And also Telegram, or you can have your agent serve over a API if you want to embed it into a mobile app or a web app, or a proprietary apps that you want to build the agent for. You can actually embed your agent there, and these are called channels. Channels are essentially where your users are essentially interacting with your agent, or chatting with your agent, talking to it, getting information from the agent, or making your agent do things. Of course, the last piece of what makes an agent is the runtime, which is essentially where your agent is running. If you have deployed web applications, you can deploy them to Railway, you can deploy them to Netlify, you can deploy them to Vercel, you can deploy them to GCP, AWS, pretty much any cloud provider, right, or your own VPS. That is essentially what is runtime. Runtime is the environment where the agent runs. It handles the deployment of the agent, the logs, the scaling, security aspect of your agent, and also the infra, right? Some examples you can see on the screen: Kubernetes, AWS that I already mentioned. So put together, all these 5 layers are what makes an agent. You have your LLM, which is the brain of the agent itself, that is responsible for synthesizing the responses for the questions you ask and give it back to the user in the channel they are interacting with. Tools, memory are which it consumes, and runtime is how it runs. Now, with this in context and with this understanding in mind, let's see how XO enables something for you, right? Building agents should feel like deploying to Vercel, like I mentioned earlier, right? When you deploy a application to Vercel, what do? You essentially link it to your GitHub repo, and whenever you push your latest version to the GitHub, it deploys automatically. That's how deploying agents should feel like, which is not what it is today, right? You either run OpenClaw or Claude Code on your local machine. There is pretty much no way unless you use a cloud provider, figure out all the security layers that you need to enable before you can publish a URL to public or your customers or your users. And that is exactly what XO solves. Like I said before, without XO, today, if you were to launch your own OpenClaw agent or Hermes agent or Claude Code agent or any EV agent, the EV is Vercel's agentic framework, you will have to figure out the container it runs in, the servers that it has to be put on, the environment variables or the secrets that it needs to have. For example, if you're using an API, you will have an API key. Now, you will have to figure out how securely you are providing those API keys so that they don't leak, right? Then you have to figure out how to update this by yourself, how to add multiple connections to it. Let's say you want to add your Google Drive to it, give more information, more data to your agent. All of these today you have to figure out yourself. But with XO, that changes significantly. All you have to do, I will show you, of course, I will show you a demo. All you have to do in XO is create a project, choose which agent you are launching. I'll show you some templates or boilerplates or blueprints we have for you to launch an agent instantly in under less than 2 minutes almost, right? And then click deploy. That's all. Your agent is live, and you can also share this agent with your coworkers, which is why fleet of agents, right? All your coworkers can use the same agent so that they don't have to deploy their own agent by themselves on their machine. All of those are solved just by using XO.builders. That's the beauty of the platform. I'll show you how it works. If you are watching this, I would highly recommend you try this along with me, because it's very simple. It's a straightforward process. Everybody gets a 30-day free trial. Plans start from $10 a month, but 30-day free trial is more than enough for you to figure out how the agents work, what you need to customize, and the basic plan is about $10, which is still cheaper than what you pay today for hosting, right? Hosting your agent with all of these factors combined. All right, let's jump right into the demo before I put the thank you slide, right? Okay, let's jump into the demo. Okay, let's go back. First step for you is to go to app.xo.builders or xo.builders, where you will see something like this, right? You can launch your own Hermes agent or Claude Code agent or OpenClaw agent in under a minute. And also you can link your Telegram, WhatsApp or Slack directly to the agent so that you can instantly start chatting with it, right? That's what XO enables. As you can see on the screen, the process is pretty straightforward. I will walk you through it also. But here is how it works, right? First step is for you to create an account, of course. Create an account, sign in with your email or Google or MetaMask if you have your wallet. And then once you do that, create a new project, give it a name. This name is for you to identify. This is not public. You can give your name and provide your Anthropic API key. If you use Codex, you can also link Codex. I'll show you how to do that. And then once you are ready, you can just say create project and it will start spinning up your project, and you will have your dashboard link by the end of it ready for you to access, share with your colleagues, your peers, your friends, your customers, anybody, right? That's the 3-step simple process. Like I said, you are essentially not worrying about security because that is taken care of. Everything runs in its own container. If you launch multiple agents, each agent gets its own container, and XO takes care of all of the infra problems that you typically have to handle today, like I mentioned, right? With that information about how to launch an agent with XO, click on try now for free and you should end up in this screen. This is your first screen that you will see once you create an account on XO. Like I said, first step is create a project. Once you click on create a project, this is what you should see today. We will add more agent templates here, blueprints as we call them, for you to deploy any type of agent going forward as we keep building all these capabilities. But by default today you can launch an OpenClaw agent or a Hermes agent or both of them separately, or a Claude Code agent directly, or an XO Cowork agent. Cowork agent, I'll get to it at the end, but once you decide which one, I would recommend you start, if you're starting out for the first time, start with Claude Code, right? All you have to do is click on create agent. This is a free account. I'm showing you the exact process that you will also see when you sign up for an account, right? Once you click on create project, what you should essentially see is this screen, right? Where you have to name your project, right? Let me say Harish, market research agent, right? You can name this however you want it to be, right? I'm going to call this market research agent. If you don't have your Anthropic key, don't worry, you don't have to paste it. It's optional, and by default you get a 20 GB machine. You can increase the size if you want to, but I would recommend you start with 20 GB because that's more than enough for your agent to run. And once you click create project, this will essentially start setting up Claude Code on a new machine entirely for you, and you will have to wait for about 30-40 seconds before this is complete from end to end, before you can start chatting with it. If you are on a trial plan, these workspaces that you launch auto shut down after 24 hours, but you will have to upgrade if you want them to stay alive forever. Essentially, the whole point of launching these agents is you don't have to worry about power cuts or your Mac shutting down or closing your Mac and your agent will shut off, right? But these agents that you launch on XO are actually 24/7. You can leave them on and chat with them wherever you are, irrespective of you having access to your machine or not, even on Telegram once you link it, right? While this is happening, let's see how to connect this agent to my Telegram, right? For that, you'll have to go to Telegram and open Bot Father, right? Bot Father enables you to create bots on Telegram. You'll have to create one bot for your agent where you can essentially chat with it, right? So I'm going to open Telegram and show you the process of creating a bot also. Once you open Bot Father, search for Bot Father and this should pop up for you, and click on create a new bot, right? And once you create a new bot, I'm going to name this Harish, same one, same name as I used it there, just to not forget, for me to not forget essentially. Agent bot. Remember, your bot names should end with bot in Bot Father, right? So I'll say Harish Marketing Agent Bot and click create bot. Now what this does is gives you a token. Be ready with it. Copy it, keep it ready, right? Copy the bot token and be ready. That's all. You don't have to do anything else. If you're publishing this bot to public, then you have to edit info, add a logo to your bot for others to see, right? That is all. Telegram bot process, will probably make another video for it, but the process for linking your XO agent to Telegram is pretty simple. Launch your bot, create a bot on Telegram, and once you have that ready, come back here, right? Here you can see now this is almost set up. It's ready, right? Ready to go. You can start chatting with your Claude Code agent directly. Now let's see what all options you have, right? On the first screen, you can see what is the size of the machine that was launched, how much space is it consuming. You can see the RAM usage. This will go up and down as you interact with the agent itself. Then you can also connect directly with the machine through some of these options that we have here, right? First is, of course, let me open terminal and show you. This will open up the machine in a terminal, right? Let's say I want to see what files I have in this machine. I want to just do ls list, and these are the files. You can customize these directly from here and edit them out or add more information. You can add your custom Claude skills directly from this terminal into your machine, right? That's how powerful it is. You have full access to this machine from here. Let me go back to XO Swarm, right? This is where we were. If you're doing with me, it's pretty straightforward, right? Now let's see the setup, right? In setup, there are multiple things. Typically, you will link your AI API or a LLM inference API through here. First step is connect your model. You can connect your existing Claude Code, or you can connect your Codex. It's coming soon, right? Or if you have Open Router, right, where you get access to multiple models, you can also connect that here. If you have an Anthropic API key, right, which is different from your Anthropic subscription, you will have to pay additional for consuming API. If you have that API key, you can also paste it directly here, right? That's all. Now let me quickly connect this and enable this, right? When you click connect Claude, it should generate a URL and it'll ask you to open the sign-in page. You'll have to authorize it. I'm going to quickly authorize it. I'm going to move this to my other workspace so that I can authorize it. And then here, let's see, right? Okay, I will authorize this. Sign in again. Okay, essentially you get the point. You sign in and you authorize, right? Let me not go through it so that my email gets leaked today, but yes, once you do that, it should connect. We didn't do it here, but that's the step. Log into your Claude and just click connect Claude, authorize it, and done. That's all. You'll have to be logged into your Claude.ai account. That's all, right? Second step here is, let's say you want to provide your model with your Google Drive, right? Your company Google Drive or your Google Drive where you have many files that you want your agent to learn from and respond from. All you have to do is just connect Google Drive. This will open up a pop-up again. You will have to name your connection and then that's it. It will open the Google sign-in page and you enable all the accesses and it should work, out of the box. Same with GitHub. You can also link your OneDrive. You can also link your own Vercel deployments if you want to deploy applications directly from your Telegram. Right now, we copied your Telegram bot token. I'll show you where to add it. Third configuration that you can do here is the channels. Like I said, if you remember, channels are where you interact with your agent. Here you can see by default Telegram is available. I'm going to paste my token here and click on save changes, and now my agent should be ready and interacting with me through Telegram, right? And then you can also add Slack. If you have a Slack bot token and app token, you can add them directly here, and you can chat with your agent through Slack also. Both of these are available out of the box. Of course, we will add more channels as we go, but these are pretty much basic enough for you to interact with your agent, right? Last one is, let's say you have an API you want your agent to call, or you've added multiple skills from different providers. You can add all your API keys here, right? Just paste the environment variable and the API key, actual key, and just click save, and it will be now available to your agent to do tool calls. Tools, remember, tools are how you give your agent access to the outside world or real world. This is where you enable access by providing your API keys or whatever authorization tokens that you need to provide for any specific API you use. Here you give the key and put an equal to and paste the value. That's all, nothing else, right? That gets saved to the machine, and through the terminal you can also do the same thing, but this is more intuitive if you're starting for the first time, right? Now, as part of the data, I said you can link your Google Drive or OneDrive. What if you want to upload custom files, right? That is part of work, right? Here you have projects and files. Inside files, you can upload your own PDFs or your own Excel sheets or any data that you want your agent to respond from. That is how easy it is for you to add data to your agent, right? Now let's say I put a PDF here, upload one file, it should finish uploading directly to the agent, and you can refresh and see now the agent also can read through this PDF. That's how simple it is when you use XO to upload your own custom information. Remember, this agent doesn't have access to my local machine or any files that I have, which are my own, my personal files, right? Anything that you put here, upload here, is what the agent has access to. And of course, the last one is usage. As you chat with your agent, you can always see how many tokens it consumed, what is the cost, approximate cost of your API that you are consuming through your agent, right? That's all. Now let's say you want to share your agent with your peers or your own friends or anybody who you want to have access to the agent itself. All you have to do is click on share project and enter their email. They have to have an account on XO.builders. Just drop in their email here and their account will show up here, and then you can share access, and for them the agent will show up under agent shared with me. For you it will be here. For your peers or colleagues where you share the agent with them, they will have access to it here. Then they will also be able to do all these same things by themselves. Let's say they have some documents that they want to upload for the agent. Let's say you're building a marketing agent, right? If you want to give this access to your content writers, your people who launch ads, you can give multiple people access to your agent, and they can put in the brand guide or the typical style of writing copy for your company or your entity. They can drop in that information purely by you sharing the agent with them through here, right? And now one more thing, right? Let's say you want to edit the files directly by yourself. You don't want to use this platform. All you have to do is click on VS Code, and this will open VS Code. If you have it running on your machine, it should open up on your machine, and it'll ask you to wait for a few minutes or a few seconds while it connects to the remote machine, right? This uses Coder extension. If you don't have it, it'll auto install, so you don't have to worry. And this will open up your entire agent on VS Code. If you want to write custom code, add your own security layers, additional security layers to your agent, all of those should be possible directly for you, essentially giving you the power back, saying if you want to edit the code, here is how you do it. This is directly connecting to the machine itself. So once this is open, what you have to do is go to Explorer and click on open folder, and this will show the folders available to you. All you have to do is just click on OK, and this should load all the folders that are available in my machine. Now if you want to chat with your Claude agent right here, you can ask it to do multiple things. You can ask it to install skills, for example, or plugins, or write a loop. How you chat with any AI agent, you can do that directly in this VS Code itself, and that will auto apply to the folders, right, on the machine, on the agent machine. Here you can see the file that I uploaded is also available. Claude.json is available here. You can modify this if you want. I would recommend not, but if you know what you are doing, please go ahead and do it. And inside the .plot folder is where you can install the skills. So when you're instructing your agent from here through the chat window, you can ask it to install the skills here. By default, it comes with one basic skill called exo projects. You can also modify that. You can read through what it is, but this is required for the agent to work properly. It has instructions that our team has put in. Our engineering team is amazing. They put in all the instructions required for the agent to work properly. Now let's say you don't like VS Code. I use Cursor. You come and tell me, okay Harish, I use Cursor. How do I talk to my agent through Cursor? Very simple. All you have to do is click on Cursor desktop. That's all. You have access to your agent's files through Cursor directly. That's how simple it is today for you to launch an agent with just one click on XO. So go ahead, go to exo.builders and try this out. Right? It's simple. It's easy. That's all. That's how you set up your own agents on cloud without having to worry about how do I add a security layer, what should I figure out, what files should I look into, because we all know OpenClaw is vibe coded, right? It has a lot of files. So don't worry, XO takes care of all of it. And that's how you launch your own agents. You can launch multiple agents by going to projects, click on new project again. If you want to launch an Hermes agent, click on create agent. Here you can link multiple providers. Each of them are different blueprints, so you have different options for whichever agent you decide to launch. Here you can see all the agents that you launch. If you want to launch an OpenClaw agent, you can launch OpenClaw agent. Here you can link your WhatsApp or Telegram or Slack. You can add OpenRouter API key directly from here, and it will start working. And of course, the same with the last blueprint that we have, which is XO Cowork. Right? This is essentially how you interact with XO and launch your own agents. Any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. If not, that's all I have. I know it is super simple because it is simple. Right? I did not fast forward through any of this. Right? I did not skip anything. It's that straightforward for you to launch your own private cloud agents using XO. By the way, there are many updates coming. We're constantly working on launching new channels, new agent environments. Right? One of them is I can't tell you. I can't leak anything. Watch out on our Twitter or X of what we are building and what we are about to launch. Right? So let me quickly go back to the presentation. And is it just a private cloud system? Is the question? Yes. Essentially, it's a Kubernetes cluster of containers running for you for your specific account. Gurdeep. This is where you can connect with me. You can scan the QR code. I'll leave that on for a few seconds before I stop screen sharing and maybe chat with you. Feel free to ask any questions. No question is a bad question or a good question. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. Let me stop sharing. All right.
I'd love to hopefully see Discord being one of the options for channels one day.
Yes. Yeah. For a couple of them, it is already part of the blueprint, but for Claude Code, we'll add it soon.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how you guys are doing it, because when I'm building or like type coding something on Claude Code or even like Hermes, I have to think about, oh, where am I going to host the database, and then I have to like go sign up for Superbase, and then the security and all those things, and you know for me, who's someone that's not like technical, I'm just wasting my token